Also, ROTK now, because there is a Chen on the team, he doesn't have to go to mech. He's going to be going for 4 staff.
Interesting.
Both of the off-lane heroes are just having no farm. Like the Clockwork, just a bracer treads. Like they have nothing. But I guess when you have 2 heroes that without farm, both Darkseer and Clockwork are very decent because their spells are pretty decent in terms of distraction and initiation.
Yeah. I do like that he's maxing out Cog second though, because he is pretty far behind, so him getting solo kills is pretty unlikely, and most of these guys are really survivable. Most importantly, they've got Chen send back, so if he does really seclude somebody like a Rubik, it's pretty hard for him to actually secure a kill. And also, look how farmed this Rubik is. This guy has a Force Staff and Arcane Boots and a Wand at 23 minutes.
Look how farmed Chen is.
They're all doing really well. Wow, Chen is really farmed. Mech on the way to a point on the way to an Aghanims. Like, this is the best feeling ever when you're like, oh, I have a point booster and a mech already at 20 minutes. You know he's going to be able to finish his Aghanims by the end of the game. He's going to at least have level 11 at that point, and that's when it gets really hard for LGD to kill.
I mean, we've been kind of talking about Sylar and Burning and their farm levels. Is it correct to talk about those, or is it more correct to talk about the support backline? Actually, MNY has enough gold to drop yet another Sentry Ward right on that camp. Like, you're not sacking anything, Sylar. That's what he's saying, and, well, I mean, just looking at the farm support, I feel like when you have farm supports, you don't lose team fights. Because there's just a lot more. Remember that previous team fight where the 2 supports got cogged up and they got blown the hell up? That doesn't happen now because of the 4 staffs.
Yeah, it's definitely going to help a lot. And again, Clockwork doesn't have that much solo kill damage anyway, so having a 4 staff up this early.
Oh, Weaver up top here. He gets disrupted, forces out BKB. He got Purge and dodges a clock hook. Nicely done, and he's going to be fine. But that is your first BKB charge. Just using it to escape, and generally as a Weaver, you don't need to do that usually.
Yeah, in most cases you don't, but probably would have gotten Burrow Striked either. He did get Demonic Purge, but it doesn't really matter when you're max movement speed invisible. Costs him a bit of HP, but he's still sitting top. Pretty survivable as a random farmer in the mid game. And again, they don't have that many disables. It's pretty much Burrow Strike and Disruption to start that off. We haven't seen Queen start on her Orchid yet. She did go BKB first to guarantee that she won't get stunned in early team fights. She hasn't actually had to use this yet either.
So this, I think this is where you go Scythe next, right? I mean, Orchid comes out a little bit quicker, but at the same time, it's probably less useful in the late game.
I would say a mid game Orchid is usually not worth it, especially when Weaver already has a BKB. You have to go Scythe.
Yeah.
You lost your timing window. There's no way Orchid can be used to kill Weaver in the mid game. You have to get a Scythe, because otherwise, if you just Orchid him, he's going to pop BKB, and congratulations, you have a plus 30 damage, plus 30% attack speed item, you know?
Yeah, so. I mean, another big part of Orchid is the nice build-up, you know? Every part helps you in the early game when you regen, when you get a little bit more damage and attack speed. In the late game, you just want the big long-range initiation, and guarantees the initiation. And that's what Queen of Pain ideally is working towards. So 2,700 gold now in the bank. Mighty Ultimate Orb, so yeah, it's going to be Scythe of Ice.
Solid choice there. The mana regen's great as well. They can chain this sometimes as well. Rock K actually really low HP at the moment. His Urn is giving him some HP, but it's weird to see a Darkseer be so low like this.
And it's weird to see a Darkseer with Urn in the first place.
It's a great item though for any int hero. Like, his int gain is not bad, and a Soul Ring alone is generally not quite enough mana for a Darkseer, is what I find whenever I play him. Burning's getting ganked, and actually there's a disruption. Here comes the bro. Is he gonna happy this one? He pops BKB again. He's got an MKB though. I don't think he cares. It's like, okay, whatever. Well, I'm popping BKB charges, but I'm wasting a lot of time for their heroes. Their supports have not been able to secure a kill. I mean, I don't think the Shadow Demon cares that much, because his levels, he doesn't care less. He's got 2 disruption. He's got his ulti. He's got something max.
I think these are big wins for LGD. I mean, sure, they're not farming on their supports. They're limiting the BKB charges, right? That just ensures that when the Queen of Pain, whenever she picks up the Scythe, that Scythe is going to be a lot more effective.
That is true. And that's the worst feeling when you're in a team fight and you're waiting for his BKB to end so you can hex him.
Right, and if it's a 10-second BKB, you're like, oh god, like the team fight could have been ended.
You might as well do something else.
And Weaver's one of those heroes that, unlike a Shadow Fiend or maybe a Luna, you don't win a team fight instantly, right? He's one of those, like, slowly right-click and chase you, and every second of those BKB charges are very precious. Also, there is, you can see that Sylar right now has an Eagle Song on him, and I think he's going Butterfly, but he's got to see the Demon Edge, and now the MKB on Burning. It just makes me wonder whether that's ultimately the correct choice. I would even say that if he goes Ethereal Blade right now, it's a bad item because of the fact that you can save your allies from burning. You could just shotgun somebody in the face with it. I'm not sure whether going for the full 6k of Butterfly, who is not really a great damaging item, it's definitely not a good survivability item, at least against Burning. I'm not sure whether that's a great transition for him.
Yeah, since he has MKB finished already, it definitely makes the item less cost efficient, because Burning is going to be most of the damage output. It's obviously going to dodge hits from Alchemist, but guy barely has any attack speed. He's got a Shadow Blade. I promise you that he's largely going to be doing just Acid Spray and his Concoction. He's going to focus on supports if possible, but we won't see him really go after Sylar, so I don't know if the Butterfly is really going to be that useful here. I think you're completely right. He definitely missed a timing window. It probably would have been better for him to grab an MKB for damage output, but at least he is going to be able to evade the Alchemist.
Mid lane here as Xiao A gets initiated on, pops the BKB to run away. This game is just about popping BKB and not,
I guess so.
Not in team fights though, as they run away. Meanwhile, Darkseer has had a pipe finish. So we've been talking about how he has had no farm. Here comes the Clockwork Hook on the mid lane. That's going to force Super to pop his own BKB. He's charging up the Sun. He wants Yao. He's going to get Yao. The call down comes through though. That's going to slow Super through the BKB. Where's Bernie? He comes in with a Storm. He's going to go on everybody. But again, his BKB is being used and he doesn't find anyone. Sylar runs away, and there you go. Your BKB's done on Burning. He's got to back off because here comes a Burrow Strike. Oh, huge Sonic Wave comes in. RTK pops a pipe. Burning goes back in time, gets some HP back. MMY Burrow Strike after a force up. What a play. Defensive disruption here. They're going to get the Queen of Pain. They are going to get Yao as well. Is MMY MVP or is he MVP? What a play.
That was sick. Great plays from lots of players, though. The Sand King lucked out, got his Epicenter off. There was no MKB proc from Burning. It didn't go through at the right time. That was 3 hits, nothing. So moderately unlucky there that he wasn't able to stop the Epicenter. Darkseer ends up dying, but then MMY just showed up. Did he force Steph and then Burrow Strike?
Yeah,
it
he
seemed
did.
like he just came out of nowhere. That was super sick.
That's
for
exactly.
Heroes, and that guaranteed not only the Queen of Pain kill, but that forced them to do a defensive disruption on the Clockwork, and they set up that kill as well. That was so sick.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the Clockwork, you want to start hooking on like a Chen, for example, or Rubik, and force them to burn those 4 staffs, force them to burn those heals, or whatever the case. Unfortunately, he went on the Alchemist, and Alchemist just BKB, and in fact, it was Clockwork that died in that initiation. So we're starting to see the issue of this LG lineup. They just don't have too much damage. Yeah. It's odd to say it when you have a team with a Gyrocopter and Queen of Pain who has nothing but early game damage, but the early BKBs are really starting to hurt them. The Chen is starting to take a toll in terms of the healing, counteracting a lot of the early game damage from LGD.
Well, let's see what all the BKBs are at. Alchemist is sitting on not a 10-second. He's got a 9-second BKB. That was his first usage here. I think Weaver's are out 7. Yep, 7 seconds on Weaver. Queen of Pain is sitting at a 9-second. And Gyrocopter is going to be at a 8-second. He's used it now twice. So it's very rare that we actually see BKBs get popped this often, but all the players need to try to stay alive if possible. Can they catch Bernie on the mid lane? They're looking for a setup. Zhao H is going to take the wave, though.
Yeah. More important thing for me right now in that last team fight was they got the tier 2 tower, so more gold, more map control to DK, but they also, more importantly, got a kill on Xiao A. I think if LGD wants to get this game back into favor, Xiao A's got to be the X factor in terms of setting up kills on Burning, using the Scythe of Ice.
Yeah.
And now it's about 1,000 go away. I think you just say, hey, Xiao A, you take all the creeps on the map, form that quick Scythe, and we try to make something happen. Because if these two teams continue the team fight, I think DK is going to win most of it. The heroes just have more item. They're better, more equipped, well equipped with things like Force Staff and all these kind of items that shut down Clockwork, that makes Sand King less useful. So it's going to be up to Xiao A.
Yeah, it's definitely right. It's a bit until he gets his sheep, though. He's at 23. Another minute or 2, and then you can go for kills. Burning, jacking the Ancients again. Wow, that's super nasty. And he went for the high HP creeps as well, so Sylar comes home just in time to see that his Purge has been eaten by someone.
So either DK is warding your camp or they're stealing it with the Weavers. So, I mean, Sylar.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's equivalent to looking at something like the Rapier effect, where you're not only just getting a gold advantage over your opponents, it's taking gold advantage that surely they would have taken at some point.
Like a gem in the mid game.
It's a swing, yeah. Like it's not a simple, oh, you died for 200 gold. It's you gain 200, they
lane
lose
here, it's going to be MNY blinking in, and now they stun, but here comes the Clockwork trying to disengage for the team. Sylar not popping the BKB just yet. Meanwhile, Super, oh my god, he just shreds that Clockwork. And you can see that's the Weaver on the back line trying to catch up on somebody. Not going to find anybody. Queen of Pain also pressuring top. and that's going to force a TP, I imagine, eventually.
That was really patient by Super as well. He decided not to pop his BKB there, because I also loved how he threw his stun on the Shadow Demon, not on the hero that was out of position, because he was like, okay, that guy's not an idiot. He's going to disrupt him. I'm going to waste my stun. He instead throws it on the support, trying to pick up that kill. Didn't end up getting a kill there, but I just thought that was really, really wise. Great control from him. That's going to save him a BKB charge. They could still fight if they want to.
Yeah. And now they got the Aegis on Burning on top of that. He's got himself a Reaver, so a Weaver with Reavers. Oh god, that's hard for me.
Can we put more tongue twisters in that sentence?
I also said something else that sounded like a tongue twister last game. I forgot what it was. But now if you look at MMY, this guy is actually ninjaing out the forest every time he wants. He's got Blink, he's got Force Staff, he also had Burrow Strike before that, so he was literally like covering mass amount of ground in seconds.
He also hasn't died yet.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing.
Say what?
For a
307? Oh my god.
That's a pretty good game for a Rubik so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be really scary. He's going to be looking to steal Queen of Pain ulti. Call down is also great to take. All that magic immunity, or it goes right through magic immunity, the slow does, that is. And it's actually a crap load of magic damage. That's 500. That's like a Queen of Pain ulti, honestly. It's pretty darn close.
I mean, to me, I think the best build that he can steal right now is still that Burrow Strike.
Yeah,
he's actually right now a better Sand King than the actual Sand King himself.
It helps when you're able to actually get a Blink Dagger.
Yeah, and a Force Staff.
That would be sick. I want to see this guy do a Burrow or like an Epicenter initiation with Blink Dagger. That would be the best.
Yeah.
Except it'll be telekinesis afterwards, and everybody's going to be confused.
Well, it's going to be a Cypher Vice picked up now, so that's the key item for me on Xiao 8. Let's see what they do with it. Do they just say, well, we don't really feel confident with the game, let's keep on farming? Or do we want to set up some decent-sized smoke gang and try to pick off Burning once or twice? I mean, he's got the Aegis now, so all you gotta earn is just that Aegis, but what are they going to do, man? I don't think they have too much options.
Yeah, LGD's being really safe right now. They're just sitting as 5. They don't want to get caught out of position because they're expecting a possible gank from DK. Alchemist has been able to farm an AC in the meantime, so even more minus armor going towards the enemy team. A lot of physical damage output that they're going to have to deal with. Aghanim's is finished on Shen. I mean, everything that DK is going for is honestly falling together, and Burning again takes the large creep, leaves the small ones.
That's even worse than taking the whole camp, right?
It's going to guarantee that when the next person comes along to farm, it's missing about 50% of the camp gold at least. Oh, he's going to find Solar. He runs right through him accidentally. MMY force staffing forward, lifts, more right clicks. This could be dead. Sylar, it's a possibility. He's taking the minus armor from the damage, and the evasion is doing nothing. Will he go down? No, he is going to die. Weaver snags him. 1 hex as well. Xiao Wei gets picked off with the net as well as the Burrow Strike, and DK is crushing the team fight right now.
Wow, DK now on top of the high ground, just basically waltz their way in. No buyback on these heroes. There's buyback on Gyrocopter, but no buyback on Xiao Wei because he just finished the scythe. The sun comes through. It's going to get dodged by DD, but they don't care. They just want this Rax. Call down, that's going to hit on everybody. Purge on Burning as well, but he pops a BKB and says, supports. You got to the wrong neighborhood, man. Now he's just right-clicking and burning. Oh, look at MMY, the best Sand King I have ever seen in this game. And he's just doing so much work. Sylar's going to go down, I think, eventually. Yes, he does. There's no buyback, and GG comes out right now.
They didn't even wait until the Rax was gone. I mean, this game looked winnable 5 to 10 minutes ago, and all of a sudden, DK just snowballs off of a couple kills, and that was basically Burning being really aggressive this whole game. He didn't really play insanely safe. He was just in their face constantly, checking camps, killing camps, making sure that his farm was higher than his opponents. He also had that huge timing window where he had an MKB over his opponent's butterfly. It just made the Weaver such a threat throughout the game. And Alchemist did well enough that he got his minus armor items. Like, they just had everything they needed. I felt like the supports of LGD didn't do enough. There's just a lot of things that went wrong with LGD here.
Yeah. To me, MMY, just spectacular. Rubik plays. Also, Chen. I think Chen definitely did not put his number on the scoreboard per se, but he prevented Clean and Pain from picking up a lot of kills. And that's why we saw her just have BKB throughout most of the mid-game and wasn't able to contribute too much. So I thought it was great play coming out of DK.
Yeah, they really did an awesome job. So that puts LGD up to, DK up to 5-0 for the group stage so far. LGD will get another shot, but let's hear what everybody has to say. Blitz as well as LD.
Wow, fantastic performance from DK in Game 1. As mentioned, they're now going to be 5-0 in the group stage, and this next game is actually really important for them because you take a look at Group A, and hopefully we'll have a chance to look at the standings here in the next couple of minutes, and If they win this game, they're 6-0, and they'll also knock LGD down to being either 2-4 or 3-3. And either way, it's going to be tough for LGD to do better than second place in this group.
Yeah, who would have thought too? Looking at the groups, I mean, LGD looked like the clear favorite. I don't actually know if anybody didn't choose them to get. Oh, did you really not?
I said a 1-1
Yeah.
because I'm indecisive.
According to DPM, the organizer, only Bruno said that DK would finish first place, but he cheated because he submitted his responses on day 2 after a day of action.
Lumi.
Cheater Bruno.
Disgusting. But anyways, I mean, they've looked really clean. They've played really well so far. The style, I mean, I said it was generic, but it's not really generic so much as it is just safe, and they do it really well.
You won't see them draft a hero and you're like, whoa, people play that hero on competitive, but maybe it's sort of that there's that spice or unusual elements to it. So they might not just completely wow you with the picks or the item selections, but they're not afraid to go for heroes that are more popular in, say, the Western scene. We've actually seen them even experiment with CK Wisp. That didn't go well, but I mean, they will go a little sort of out of their comfort zone here and there.
Yeah, definitely.
So they're going to end up taking this game, and heading into game 2, we'll see if they can make it a clean toe sweep. Looking forward to it. DK on the rise right now, and Gods actually has them listed as his favorites to take the International 3. I know it's early to be making any bold predictions like that, but he's already on record, at least here beyond the summit, as saying such. We'll see the group standings now. Currently DK 5-0, LGD.cn 2-3. They'll need to take this next game, else they'll fall to 2-4 in the group, and that would put them actually in second to last. With all that being said, guys, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be live with Game 2 of LGD China versus DK. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, we're back. This is going to be game 2 of DK versus LGD Gaming. My name is Purge. I'm here with Luminous. Thanks for joining us. This is going to be our last match of the night, if I'm not mistaken. Been some great games so far. The two favorites of Group A are up against one another. DK hasn't dropped a match yet. Technically 3-0, but with their forfeit, or with LGDN's forfeit, they're up 5-0. So they are stomping their group. Can they make it 6-0? I think they have a pretty good shot.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think they've been playing better Dota. I mean, we'll call it safe. I just call it very meticulous. They just don't give anything up for free. And for those of you guys who are wondering why is it a best of 2 series instead of the standard best of 3, our organizer DPM, she shortened the tournament to include more teams. So that's to include Navi, we had to make the tournament a little bit smaller. So if we have more best of 3, we wouldn't have Navi. That's a decision that she had to make, and well, I think we all want to see Navi, so I don't mind best of 2s.
And for a group stage anyways, I don't think it's that important personally.
It's for points.
Like,
so.
If you're talking about eliminations and things like that, then yeah, it's a big deal.
Don't worry, we'll still have best of 3s somewhere down the road when we get actually into the double elimination brackets.
Every team here, even LGD Int, who's looking in dire straits at a 0-4, they can still come back. So the best of 2 impacts us figuring out which teams are technically better than each other right now, but at least in the group stage format, it just kind of shows us seeding things. So anyways, we can hop into the game. The draft is underway. LGD is already 2 bans deep. They've got Lifestealer banned as well as an Alchemist. Apparently they don't want to deal with Alchemist this game.
I mean, Alchemist was kind of a big factor in last game. I'm surprised that we haven't seen Visage.
Do you really feel like he was a big factor though? Like, he passively farmed well, and his stun is big. He landed that huge stun on 2 supports. That was definitely game-changing stun. But I don't know, like, I feel like that's mostly all he did. Like,
I feel like you can't ignore him, because in the team fight, like, what's your support gonna do when he pops a BPG and just run at you? He's not gonna kill your supports.
And you're not gonna kill him because he's gonna regen like 30 HP per second.
The bigger thing for me is the acid spray. Like, it allowed Burning to do a lot more damage than he would have normally done. So he doesn't put up big numbers in terms of kills or the farm, but he has a lot of like utility, even though he didn't go for a utility build, if that makes any sense. So I'm not sure whether he's worth the first ban just on that alone, but the possibility that he could go into full carry mode if the game went longer than that as well is just an added benefit. Yeah,
well, a hero that hasn't been picked up that much for this tournament at least, Kunkka. He was getting first round banned for the
quite a while,
just even the Eastern qualifiers a couple weeks ago. Not seeing Kunkka anymore, which is a little surprising. I'm not really sure what changed. Maybe
DK was banning out Dragonite and Kunkka on the second round. So
second round, okay.
Yeah, if LG want it, they have to get it now, and I'm not sure whether he's worth the pick right now.
Well, Visage has squeaked through at least one of the best supports in the game right now, just because Soul Assumption is fantastic. It seems like every game that I see Visage played, he always has super positive KD, contributes, gets kills. The bats are fantastic as well, globally ganking, things like that. Great against support heroes with low armor. They do so much physical damage, and the stun isn't bad either to set up kills or like chain stun and stuff.
Yeah, and if you have enough like gold to, Arcane, Medallion, and Mech, and then you get that Axe Scepter, oh god. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a carry, you just melt to those 3 birds.
Yeah, they really do a lot of damage output. It's actually been a lot of reserve time being used from DK right here. These are pretty insanely important picks, though, especially with some of the bans I went through. Like the Alchemist ban as well as the Shadow Demon ban kind of changed things up a lot. So they have to format their strat right now, and this is, I mean, reserve time is a lot more important than it was in the past. If I'm not
mistaken. For example, they could go into Darkseer Spectre right now if they want the 2-man combo, which has been popular, but they're going to go with what works, which is Darkseer Chen, the exact same 2-pick coming out from the last pick. I personally dislike Chen in terms of a matchup against Visage. On one end, you have the healing. That's going to help out at least against one Soul Assumption. I feel that against a team that consists of Visage, you need to kill them instantly, or else they're going to just outlast you with multiple Soul Assumptions. Or at least you got to kill Visage instantly. And Chen is not a hero that have that much damage output.
So you think he's not that good because his offense isn't as good as a typical 4 roll?
Right. Like, for example, if a Rubik or a
What if he gets like 3 Harpies?
Well,
and then just goes zap crazy.
That's OP.
God, that would be the best. I would have so much fun microing that.
Just like lightning tap, lightning tap, lightning tap.
It's like you're playing Meepo basically. You're just like tap, 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 tap. That would be really good at smart casting, actually.
Well, I'm not sure we're gonna see 3 Harpy Storms.
Pretty unlikely. It only spawns at the small camp, and it only spawns there like.
Have you tried your best to run around and collect them? And It's
no,
like
I just theory crafted that now, but that's got to be OP. Like somebody do the math on the DPS on that. That's got to be.
it's just like arc lightning, right? It's like 150 damage.
It does 105 after reduction.
105 after
So you could
reduction.
cycle
Okay.
that every 4 seconds. That's
Okay.
that's like
That's
OP.
a lot, yeah.
That's like a Dagon. That's a Dagon every
Okay.
4 seconds. That's OP.
It's AoE too, sort of, because
Yeah.
it bounces.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's not OP. I don't know. Stuns are pretty good, man.
Well, they're gonna go with the Darkseer and Chen combo, and yeah, I'm not sure whether I'm correct in saying that against a Visage team you gotta kill him quick, and Chen is not a hero that's good at killing people quick.
Yeah.
And now they also have Dragon Knight on the front line, and it's hard to actually kind of move past him, especially with your Centaur creeps and whatnot. Yeah, I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but so far with the 2 picks in, I like how LG's picks more personally.
It could go a lot of different ways. Dragon Knight's a pretty stable mid. He can be ganked, but he has usually moderate HP is probably the best way to describe it. And if he's at least level 4, he has some armor on top of that. So, like you said, Chen doesn't really have that much damage early on. If it's a Troll Warlord creep, ganking is not the best. If it's something like a Centaur, he does the disable, but not a whole lot of damage. If probably the best is maybe a Hellbear Smasher versus
Yes,
him, because you really need the magic burst as well as the disable. And there's not a lot of other creeps that can do that. So. Hopefully for them they can get a gank off, but at least their offlane is going to be pretty safe with Darkseer. Darkseer doesn't have to worry about Visage too much because Grave Shield doesn't do anything. He can surge out of that. He does have to worry about Soul Assumption, but it's looking okay for DK right now. Their draft could go lots of different ways, though. I mean, they could try to put a favorable matchup against Dragon Knight. Would you say there's any heroes that really counter him super hard? I don't know.
I mean, a lot of hero easily beats him mid, like
they will.
Queen of Pain would just
they'll out farm him.
Yeah.
But TA maybe.
Well,
would you
Kunkka,
say?
it's a hero that does it too. Simply because he, like, you don't actually have to use your Tidebringer to harass him.
Yeah.
You just keep your plus damage and deny.
Really.
Yeah, and well, that's how sometimes the